Hello, in this lesson we're going to be using the rotating right-hand rule in order to find the positive direction of rotation. Okay, so if you all right now lift up your right hand, okay, and give a thumbs up. So you can see that the thumb represents, okay, on this drawing, the thumb represents this arrow over here, okay, pointing in this direction. Okay, so this is the thumb. Okay, and that represents the axes of rotation. Okay, and then what your fingers represent is this. Okay, so your fingers are going in this direction, and this means that this is this arrow. Okay, and this is the positive axis, okay, the positive direction of rotation. Okay, so if your Z is pointing upwards, then your positive direction of rotation is the direction that your fingers are curled in, okay, and rotate in. Okay? So now let's give an example. For instance, if I have a graph, okay, and so this is my Z axis, okay, and this is my X axis, and this is my y-axis over here. So if the z-axis in this direction is the positive direction, then if we if we use our rotating right-hand rule, we'll see that if we have some kind of rod over here on the y-axis, it's always going to be rotating on the xy plane, and using our rotating right-hand rule, we can see that its positive direction of rotation will be in this direction anti-clockwise. Now I'm actually going to change the color, okay, of the rod so that it doesn't confuse you. Okay, so say that the rod, okay, is this green color because I don't want to confuse you, and the pink represents the thumb, okay, which represents the axes of rotation. Okay, so I've color coordinated everything. The blue arrow represents the positive direction of rotation, the pink arrow represents the axes of rotation, and this green is just the rod which is rotating on the xy plane. Now, if we go back to the example that we saw a few lessons ago, where we said that this is our r vector, and that perpendicular to our r vector, we had our force vector pushing the rod. Okay? So sometimes I will say, okay, and then we said that our momentum would be the cross product, okay, between these two vectors. And we said that our momentum would be this, the vector representing this direction on the z-axis, okay? So this was our, sorry, not momentum, this was our torque. Okay, so our torque, because we can see that it's pointing in the positive direction, okay, of the z-axis in the positive direction, so we can say that our torque is positive. And another way that we can say this, and it's the exact same thing, is we can see that our force is pushing the rod in our positive direction of rotation, okay, so if we say that this is the positive, okay, right now we said that the anti-clockwise direction is the positive direction. So because we can see our force is pushing the rod in the positive direction of rotation, so we can see that our vector for our torque is also going to be in the positive direction. Okay, it's going to be a positive vector. Okay, and those things mean the exact same. Okay, so I wrote down now that the torque is positive if its direction is in the positive z direction, or the force is in the positive direction of rotation, and that both statements are equivalent. Okay? They both mean the same thing. Alright, that's the end of this lesson.